welcome to day 2 of your induction. I hope we're excited for today. We're excited to be here today. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. Let's show love today. Let's show love to everyone around us. It's not just for your partners. Show love to people around as well. It's a season of love. Okay. Starting very shortly. But before we comment, I'd like to state some of the rules again. Please drop your hands. You don't need to raise your hands. If you have any questions, drop it in the comment section and you will definitely be answered too. So you don't need to raise your hand. Okay, just put your questions in the comment section and you will get all the answers you need in the course. If you don't get your answers today, you get them in the course of the week. All right. We'll be starting very soon. Just a minute. This morning we'll be starting with contextual learning with reinforcement. I know you're looking at your screen and like, what does it have to do with data and cloud engineering, right? You're thinking, why are we having this section this morning? Well, like we mentioned at the beginning of the section, this is not just for cloud and data engineering section. The induction is to give us an overview of how the program will look like, right? Now, this morning we'll be having myself. My name is Omobolanle Ogunleye, and Oluwatosin. We're from the talent management team here at Secure Intelligence. We will be talking to you on contextual learning with reinforcement. Okay, this is supposed to help you through your entire internship, not just the induction. Okay, so we're bringing this at this time to help you navigate your way through the induction. Right, so I will be starting now. James, next slide. Right, so one of the things we'll be covering today will be, contextual learning, what you understand by contextual learning, what you understand by reinforcement in theory. Then, of course, our core topic, contextual learning with reinforcement. Yes, how does this apply to you now? How does it apply to you beyond the internship? Okay, we're going to be bringing all these terms together. Some of us have an idea of what I'm saying. So if it's not a new concept to you, just flow with it. If you have any comments, any questions, please drop it in the Q&A section and we'll definitely get to it. Right, so let's start with the introduction. I'll be asking a question. I want this to be as engaging as possible. I know we cannot all put on our mics to speak, but I know we can use the Q&A channel. So I'm going to be asking a question. I'll be looking through the comments and to be seeing our contributions, okay? All right, so have we ever had an experience, okay? We're starting with the introduction now. So let's think about this. I want us to walk through this process together. Have you ever had an experience where you wanted to learn something and you maybe go on YouTube or use any of the learning platforms and say, oh, I want to learn about maybe how to make something or about a particular concept. And then you actually spent an hour, 30 minutes, 2 hours, 3 hours, or even weeks or months to learn this thing. And then at the end of it, you're more confused than you started. Have you ever had that experience? Let me see our comments in the Q&A session. Have you had that experience where you actually started to learn something? You were excited. Oh, I want to learn something new. I want to start something. And then, you can't learn anything because it just felt like the person confused you. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of yes. You had that experience and it can be very frustrating. I've had that experience too. Yes, many bad experiences. Thank you. I'm seeing our comments. It happens. I mean, almost everyone has had this experience before. James, the next slide. Almost everyone has had this experience before where you start something and by the time you finish, you're like, what did I just learn? Did I learn anything? Oh, I thought I even knew this before. Now it's like I'm, worse off. Well, today we'll be talking on contextual learning. Okay, for me, I had this experience with biology in high school, where we had to. I remember through secondary school, high school, biology was not practicable to me. I tend to look at biology. I don't understand what's happening. Why is this happening? Why is that happening? Now, these experiences can be very annoying because you start with an excited mindset. You want to learn a lot, but then at the end of it all, you are confused. Okay. All right. One of the things we will be doing through the course of this presentation, alongside the rest of the program, is working with you to find a strategy, okay, that you can acquire knowledge through pertinent materials that keeps you interested in what you're learning, okay, so that you're able to know how to apply it in practical solutions. It's not just theory. We're not coming here to give you a textbook knowledge. We're walking you through the process. My colleague Tosin will be going through how these can be possible very shortly. Please drop your questions and your comments, and we'll definitely be responding to them. All right, Tosin, over to you.
Thank you very much, Balanle. Um, Balanle have said we'll be talking about contextual learning with reinforcement. She explained, which means you can be able to um, you can be able to connect it with your real life experiences, the knowledge you've acquired over time. You can connect it. Oh, Jake, can you move to the next slide, please? All right, so like our slides, you can see there that contextual learning is a teaching strategy that allows you as a student to apply the knowledge, the skills, the information that you've learned. You can be able to relate it with your real life experience and um, with what you encounter in the real life. So when as a teacher as a teacher, when you convey materials and you convey it to students, you're creating a meaning. You helping them to be able to relate it with their own experiences. It helps them to learn faster. It helps them to retain what they've learned faster, and it also helps them to keep it in their long-term memory. So uh, an example of contextual learning is our CIL internship program, the CIL academy program that we all are here for. So uh, now we'll be moving forward to reinforcement. So when we talk about reinforcement, Jay, next slide, please. So when we talk about reinforcement, it's actually the theory of reinforcement is fundamental premises. It's pretty straightforward and it's obvious. So reinforcement is about learning the optimum or the optimal behavior in an environment and obtaining a maximum reward. So for example, let's say you want to earn more money at work, you would have to put in more effort to earn more money, or you have to put in more hard work for you to actually earn more money in terms of either your bonus or your salary. So your efforts would actually speak for you. So that's an example of a reinforcement in you putting so much work, putting so much hard work, putting effort in what you do for you to earn more money. So situation that the desired conduct is enabled and supported by your action, which will to actually lead to behavioral reinforcement. So when we talk about reinforcement, it's actually something that can help you that can push you for you to gain something from your action or your behavior. So rewarding desired behaviors or punishing undesirable ones are actually the cornerstone of reinforcement learning. But we're talking more about that when we talk about the types of reinforcement. So, so in order for us to optimize the effect of the action in the given environment, so we must always analyze the past behavior and also plan for the future. So, this is what we'll be focusing on in reinforcement. This is what we should focus on in reinforcement, talking about our past behavior and how we will plan for the future. Slide, please. Like I said, we'll be talking more on the types of reinforcement. We actually have several types of reinforcement, but for the basis of this internship, we'll be discussing two of them, which is the positive reinforcement and also the negative reinforcement. We'll be dwelling more on the positive reinforcement because that is the path we want to choose, and we've only scratched the surface of the negative reinforcement. So it will help us to know how we can avoid that and also dwell more on the positive reinforcement. So when we talk about positive reinforcement, Jay, next slide, please. When we talk about positive reinforcement, it talks about you being able to hear me. I think I'm back.
I can hear you.
All right, so we're talking about the positive and negative reinforcement. So when we talk about the positive reinforcement, a positive reinforcement, like the saying, for every action there's a reaction. So for every action that you take, if you take if you make a good move, for you to be able to learn, when you're learning, you put in more effort. You know the time you're supposed to deliver a particular assignment or an assessment is given. You put in so much effort to read, to learn, and also to take your assessment. You would know that when your result is coming out, you'd actually be performing well, because you know that you've put in so much effort to get the particular results that you desire. So that is positive reinforcement. But when you know that you're supposed to study for a particular assessment, test, or an exam, and you keep postponing, or saying, okay, I'll do it later, or you try to avoid it and you try to do other things, that is a negative reinforcement. That wouldn't lead you to it won't lead you to get what you want. At the end, you can see that the effort you already put in is negative, so the results you'll be getting would be negative. You won't get your desired result. So like I said earlier, for every action there's a reaction. All right, next slide, Jane. Slide, please. We have some benefits of positive reinforcement. So one of them is it helps you to be confident. It helps you a lot. You help, your confidence will increase because you know that you put in so much effort in what you do. So it will also help you to bring out your best performance possible. It help you to deliver your best performance. It will help you in your engagement, in relating with both your fellow students or your teacher. It will help you in engagement. So positive reinforcement would actually help you a lot. It will help you to intensify your behavior towards attaining something um, something positive for yourself. So we should learn and we should move towards the positive reinforcement and try as much as possible to stay away from negative reinforcement. You know that you're supposed to get up at a particular time. You have an alarm to set for 4:30, and when your alarm comes up, you snooze to maybe 10 minutes later, you keep snoozing. That is a negative reinforcement, because you know by 4:30 you already have something you're supposed to do. You're supposed to get up, maybe brush your teeth, have your bath, and start your daily activities. But since you already snoozed to like 10 minutes, like twice, it will actually take you backward. So we should tend to avoid the negative reinforcement. Do what you're supposed to do at the right time, so it will help you to keep your change. It will help you, it will keep you going for a very long period. Slide, please, Jay. slide. We're talking about contextual learning with reinforcement now. So when we talk about contextual learning with reinforcement, it actually allows us to extend uh, reinforcement learning setting by actually talking about the distributions of multiple characteristics and properties of the environment. So for instance, if a person actually you learn a particular policy to enable you to keep a cup in a particular position, and you picking a cup up in using a particular reinforcement learning a particular way. So that way is to determine how to generalize the policy. So is to help you examine the person if you can actually pick up the cup in pick up a cup in various sizes or shapes, or even other objects that can help you that looks like that cup, or objects that are similar in physical properties. So that is actually reinforcement. So talking about the contextual learning with reinforcement, how do we apply it? How does it apply to our internship program? So you'll be better to be able to transfer or apply that knowledge in the real life, because in CIL Academy will actually place you, the learning would place you on, will be in the context in which that you'll be able to use the knowledge, the skills that you've acquired, you'll be able to use it in your real life experiences. You'll be able to apply this to your job obligations maybe later in life after the internship. So we want to go beyond just learning in the classroom, and we want to actually be able to we want you to be able to put in those skills, those knowledge that you acquire during the internship. We want you to be able to apply it in your real life experiences. We want you to be able to you learning contextual learning with reinforcement. It will actually help you to be able to remember these things faster. It will store in your short-term memory. It will store in your long-term memory, because you'll be able to remember that, oh, this is what I learned, this is the example that was given, this is what was really they related it with this particular example. Oh, now when you see if when a particular situation occurs and you see that uh I can remember this was taught and they related it to this thing, and of something similar happens when you're in the real world, you can see that, oh, I was taught, and you quickly remember. So that's what we want to promote. We don't just want to keep teaching you in the classroom and you just listening and just reading courses. We want to be able to relate it with your real experiences and things that are happening in the real world. Next slide, please. So beyond the internship, we want to be able to like still internship is we'll be using the context of our internship now. So in the context of the real life tasks, situations, and the problems, the learning and assessment can authentically reflect in your everyday experiences, and you'll be able to show that, okay, this is what I've learned. You'll be able to transfer the new knowledge and the skills in a more professional way, in just beyond the CIL Academy, in your daily life, in your in your roles, in your place of work. When you are taking up, for those that are moving to that are changing career, you'll be able to relate it when you change your career and you are in the field of the cloud or data engineering field. Be able to relate this skills and knowledge with the experience that you start gathering in your several fields. I'll be handing over to Omobolanle for her to conclude your enforcement. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Tosin, for that enlightening section on what reinforcement and contextual learning is generally about. As my colleague has rightly said, through this academy, we're going to take you through the process of learning to use contextual learning with reinforcement. Okay, learning in the context. Like, let's use the basic terms here.
learning within a context. How are you able to apply this knowledge throughout, your career in cloud or data engineering, or whichever skill you're actually, going to take up along the line. Okay, we're going to put you through that process. Okay, we're going to give you materials that are not just theoretical. You're not going to have the experience I had in secondary school with biology, where right now, if you ask me anything, I really don't know what happens to what when it comes to biology. Okay, you're going to be better off. It's not just going to be your theories, it's going to be practical. Okay, now when we're doing that for you, what are we expecting you to do for yourself at this point? As we've rightly said yesterday, we spoke about the fact that this is a self-paced learning. You're going to have to put in the work. Okay, Blessing said it a lot yesterday, talking about consistency, commitment. This is now you. We're coming through this particular topic at this point, we're going through it at this point, is so that you can see the commitment that we are making to you. The question is, what are you doing for you? Okay, we can give you the learning in contextual terms. We can, put you in practical situations that allows you to do hands-on experience. A lot of people were asking questions yesterday. Oh, in this 6 months, would I actually know what I'm supposed to know? Another person was asking yesterday, saying, oh, in this 6 months, I don't know anything. Am I going to get the experience? It's zero to techie, which means you don't need to know anything. You just have to have the interest, and we're taking you through the process. We're going to let you know everything you need to know to start a career in this path, but you are going to play your part. Okay, we cannot, unlike secondary school, where they take where they are, ways to force you to attend classes and do this. You're going to have to make the sacrifices and the commitment expected, of you. Okay, you're going to allow yourself enjoy the teachings to start with. Do not see anything as difficult or impossible. Ask yourself, how does it apply to my everyday life? How can I put this in my context? We all have different contexts. We all have different backgrounds and experiences. So you're supposed to allow yourself enjoy these things. Once you're being taught something, once you learn something, you go back and sit and ask yourself, how am I going to put this in my own context? How does this apply to me as a cloud engineer? How does this apply to me as a data engineer? How can I do this for myself? How does it apply? How am I able to add 2 plus 2 together? I'll give you a very quick story. I wasn't planning to share, but it came to me right now. I'm in human resources, and one of the things that I've learned, today is Valentine's Day, so I'm going to be mixing a bit of this. Okay, when I was learning and when I was trying to grow my career in human resources, one of the things that came to my mind was, how does human resources apply? How does recruitment? A lot of us know that the HR department, man the recruitment of an organization. And so as a lady, I put it this way: recruitment is basically, a lot of people, toasters, the word toasters, coming to actually ask you out. Okay, so there are a lot of applications, a lot of applicants, but you have to select the one that meets your needs, the one that, okay, yes, these are the criteria I have, this is the job description, the job specialization, this is what I need, this is what I expect. Then you select the best candidate. Okay, now that's the way I saw it. So I was like, okay, as a lady, I mean, a lot of people come around, I shortlist them. This is how I'm selecting the best one for myself. Okay, so as an HR professional, this is how we select. These are the criteria to select someone for myself. So you would not see someone recruiting someone without knowing what they want. It's just the same way a lady just taking anybody without knowing what she wants definitely is supposed to end in disaster. Okay, that's just on a lighter note. So this is just me saying, try to find practicable ways to actually let this apply to you. Okay, try to put it in your own context, whatever works for you. Okay, and yes, you do this with reinforcement. Tosin has rightfully mentioned positive and negative reinforcement. How do you, get reinforcement in your daily lives? Okay, you can do this by looking at ways to celebrating your wins. I was able to write one line of code today. Do not compare yourself with others that wrote 4 lines, maybe because they have previous experiences or their learning pace is higher than your own, and then you start beating yourself. No, celebrate your little wins, congratulate yourself, put in the work, put in the time, and try as much as possible to also imbibe a bit of negative influence by reinforcement, by getting rid of anything that's going to stop you from achieving your goals. If it's extra sleep, if it's reducing your screen time, if it's reducing outings for this period, that allows you to actually achieve your goals. Okay, so you are supposed to go through this process. It's 6 months. Yes, your career does not end in 6 months, but 6 months is very vital, to your career. And I believe that since you're starting this at this point, you actually have every intention to pull this through. Okay, I won't try to discourage anyone but not everyone that is starting this would actually end it, okay? But you have to make a decision for yourself to say, I want to actually go through the challenges. It's not going to be easy. We're not going to pretend like it's going to be easy. But if you look for the contextual ways in your own context to relate to these things, if you look for ways to reinforce whatever is being learned, to reinforce it, to say, okay, I'm going to celebrate myself. Once I'm able to do this, I'm going to do this for myself. Once I'm able to do this, I'm going to get this for myself. Anything that's going to distract me, anything that's going to make this more stressful for me, I'm going to take it away. You're definitely going to, meet us halfway, and we're going to definitely achieve this. And this entire program is free because we believe in you. We believe that you're able to do this. We want to raise people, in this industry to fill this gap, to allow more people, to grow in this industry. We are rooting for you. We're supporting you through this process. And if you need anything, we're here for you. Congratulations on this journey. We look forward to having more time with you, and we look forward to seeing your progress and hearing your stories going forward. Thank you very much. Okay, so that brings us to the end of this section. I hope we've learned something from this session. If you have any questions in the next few minutes, you could use the Q&A box to ask any questions, and we will try to answer as much as possible. Okay. All right. Do we have any questions? I guess don't have any questions. It has been a very interesting session. Everyone gets it. Everyone is thinking of ways they can imbibe this knowledge. Okay. All right. Have any question? I see yes, I have. I can't see the question. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you. Do we have any questions? Okay. Okay, there's a question. Are there rules you would recommend in getting rid of negative distractions? Personally, I wouldn't recommend, there are no rules. Okay, that's why we're talking about contextual learning. It has to apply to you. Okay, you have to look at what works for you. What are the things that you think distract you? It takes a lot of internal sitting down and saying, what are the things that distract me? For me, I love seeing movies a lot. I love seeing movies a lot. So I could decide that, okay, for the next few months, I probably would not do a Netflix subscription. Okay, take out Netflix subscription, take out your Prime subscription, Showmax, all the subscriptions that give me that avenue. I could just say, okay, you know what, this money I'll use it to save up for something, to get materials or buy extra data to allow me to take my course. Okay, so you have to look at how to actually do this. Okay, do it at take your time, bring it out. We all know ourselves. We know what could possibly distract you. Is it social media? Okay, try to take out those things. Someone is saying, okay, how do you handle procrastination? Start. The best way to start something is to start now. That's what I would say. Start now, like immediately. Don't do it tomorrow. Okay. Like Tosin mentioned, you set an alarm for 4:15 and then you snooze it. The very second you stand up, it's not going to be easy. I won't lie to you, but just start. Okay. There's no better to do something than now. Okay. So try to not say, okay, I'll do it tomorrow. That's spirit of just start. You don't have to get it at once, but keep starting. Okay. Give yourself positive reinforcement. Give yourself rewards. If I'm able to complete this by this time, this is going to happen. If you keep being accountable to yourself, you'll be able to work on it. Okay, can we see the okay? Oh, I don't know if I could do this. Damilare saying that, is there a way we can see the questions being asked to avoid the same question? Once I answer a question, I will not answer it again. So once you ask the question, I mean, you will know that it's been answered. How do I handle imposter syndrome in terms of sharing and putting myself out there? Well, like I said, everyone's journey is different. Look for what works for you. Imposter syndrome happens to everybody, to be honest. You just have to keep telling yourself, I can do this. This is my own journey. This is my own process. And you keep working on yourself part time. Everyone's journey is different. Do not compare your I saw one post somewhere said, do not compare your behind the scenes to someone else's finished works. Okay, someone has probably been putting in the work before joining this program like 3 months before, and you join and you're saying, why is this person getting faster than I am? Do not compare your process to someone else's process. Your journey is different. Once you have that feeling, it happens to everyone. I can't tell you it won't come up, but once you have that feeling, you just have to positive confessions. That works for me. Like I said, everything is personal. It applies to different people. So try to like talk to yourself, positive confirmations. I can do this. I am better than this. I will get here. This is my process. I will be this. Ask yourself before you start this program, where do I see myself in 6 months? I see myself as a cloud engineer at XYZ organization. Then you start your journey, and then you keep confessing it, keep looking at that person. Focus on who you should be next. Your goal or your competition should be your future self, not someone else. Okay, whoever you're trying to be is who you're supposed to be competing with, working towards being that person and not someone else. Okay, I'll take one more question. I wish I could take everything, but we have gotten to the end of the our time. Okay. Sorry, let me just quickly take it. How does the positive reinforcement improve confidence? Well, positive reinforcement improves confidence by it's a reward system. Okay, it's a reward system. If you get something, and for every time, I'll just use this very quick analogy, and I'll wrap up here so that the next person can come up. For every time you do something and you get a reward, or let me put it this way, from every time you do a job and you get paid, I'm sure there's this excitement that comes to your mind when, if for those of us working 9 to 5, salary lands and all that. It's something you've worked for. And when you know that you do something, you keep getting paid for it, or if I'm able to do this, I get this. If I'm able to do it. So positive reinforcement is you just giving yourself I'll use the word morale boost to keep going. Okay, it allows you to keep pushing for the next day. At the end of the day, the goal is the overall goal is what you're headed at, but along the line, celebrate your journey. It allows you to know how far you've come. Very quickly, I remember there was a time when I was trying to, I was telling myself I wasn't doing enough. So someone asked me, okay, what have you done so far? And I sat down and listed what I had done so far. And I realized I had actually done a lot. Okay. At that time, I took it upon myself to actually celebrate my journey, my process. Okay, celebrate my little wins. What was I able to achieve today? I set the goal today to achieve 5 tasks today. I completed 5. I completed 4/5, 90%. That is a very good one. Okay, celebrate yourself. At the end of today, I deserve maybe 1 cup of ice cream, something. Okay, it just allows you to keep going. It allows you to see your process and does not allow the imposter syndrome to actually get the better part of you. I'd have really loved to answer all your questions. I believe some of these questions will be answered along the line. I will try to be answering some of them in the chat box as much as I can. Thank you very much for this session. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much, Tosin. Thank you very much, James. We'll be going to our next session very quickly with Juwon. Okay, Juwon, are you ready for us?
Yes, Bolale. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. All right, Juwon, over to you.
Hi. Hi everyone. My name is Adejuwon, and I want to just I know I can't help it but just talk about the session we just finished. I think the key takeaway for me is keep starting. Right, there are going to be times where you are going to feel down. Probably from a product manager perspective, there was something I came across recently. It's actually a course on a venture capital course by this guys, this VC firm, very popular. I've forgotten the name now. They talked about how you should keep on launching your product. So you keep on launching. So there are times where you feel like your product actually failed already, and maybe it hasn't. Maybe you just need to go back and re-strategize and relaunch. Yeah. So keep starting, basically. All right. So I'm going to. So due to some technical issues, I might not be able to show my video now, but you guys saw me yesterday, so you're still gonna see me a lot for the next couple of days. So just please bear with us while I talk you guys through the assignments, the use cases, projects, and teams for this cohort. This is gonna be very practical. Probably gonna talk maybe 5-10 minutes. Then we use the remaining time to take a lot of questions because there are going to be like tons of them, right? It's going to like Blanley already said, it's a self-paced program. You're going to be doing a lot of things by yourself, but we've done the hard work already. We've done the heavy lifting for you guys already. We've prepared the programs in order that it will be very easy for you to progress right from zero, that like we call it, zero to Techie, right from ground zero to you becoming an advanced engineer or a technical person, depending on what your context may be in this program. Okay. So as it says, this is a course 5 division. We've had 4 of this in the past, though you guys seems to be the most advanced so far, right? So this is quad 5 that we're currently doing, and how we've divided your program is in modules. Okay, please listen very well for this one, because it's actually going to help a lot. It's going to also be the baseline for some other conversations we're going to be having subsequently. Okay, so course 5, right? We have all your courses all bundled into modules. Okay, and I think I answered the question yesterday as well, around you will not be able to continue to the next module until you finish the first one. Okay. Can everyone see the slides that have been presented? Just say yes about continue talking. Okay, so we have all the courses arranged in modules. Okay, if you don't finish the first one, you can't continue to the second, and so on and so forth. Okay, and for every module, there are several materials that are provided, or that have been prepared for them. Mostly just information about the course or about the module, as the case may be. The actual course content, right? Where you're going to, it's either going to be a video content or just a link to some materials, either external or internal, that you're going to interact with. But trust me, every single material that's been prepared in that module, you are expected to go through them. Either it's just a Medium link or a YouTube video, or a video to just take another course on that platform or thereabouts. You are expected to go through everything. And the ones that we also prepared internally, everything is arranged there in the module, right? You're going to go through the course. You're going to see some quizzes that are also attached to the course. So for every module, like I said, there is a course attached. Now, for you to complete a single module, there are assignments, you can call it projects, however you might want to call it, right? That are assigned to each modules. Okay, you are expected to finish the module by completing a project. Okay, so, and there are scenario-based projects. Okay, probably will give you an instance like, oh, there is a company ABC that just wants to, maybe they want to do some sort of cloud migration, or they want to start using cloud, or they want to, it could be any scenario, or it could be that, oh, they have this on-prem. Okay, don't let's go technical yet, right? So the projects are just very, very they're scenario based, they are real life, they're very, very practical. Okay, so when you're done with that, either you work on it alone, or you join a colleague, or you join a peer, but any support you need throughout that project, as we're going to be giving it to you. All right, so for every course, for you to finish a single course, there is that the materials are going to interact with, either links or, like I've said earlier, right? And second part of it is going to be the quiz. So for every course, there's a quiz they're going to finish. That is different from the assignments or the project that I mentioned, right? The project is assigned to a module, okay, while the quiz will be for a single course. So for you to progress to the next course, you have to just to test that, okay, just to test your knowledge of what you just learned, right? You're going to take maybe like 5, 10, 15 questions in form of a quiz. And when you're done with that, you progress to the next course, and then after the entire course in that module, then you take the project. Okay. So I'm guessing that's very, very clear. If you have questions, please be noting them down now. Like I said, you guys are meant to have a lot of questions in this session. Okay. Can you go to the next slide, Jay? All right. So we also went through the pain of doing something for you guys, and it's informed by some of us journey. Okay. So at the beginning of some of us career, we wished we had some hand holding, or some, we could leverage on some sort of relationships, or some sort of partnership, or accountability partners, or whatnot, right? So what we've done is to take you guys through this very short session of telling you how you can actually go through this entire journey, either with someone, if you want to, or if you feel like you're just good all alone, that's fine as well. But what we are advising is that you do it alongside one person, at least one person. Okay, get either whatever works for you, basically. And here are the few advantages we think might that came to mind that we think would benefit you as well. It keeps you motivated, basically. I'm not going to go into much details on that. It also makes you feel accountable, okay? Because at the end of the day, aside us coming to check in with you, which we will do, right? But we also need you to keep yourself motivated, and one way you can do that is to get an accountability body of some sort, right? To keep you in check and all of that. And then there is also the possibility of you having that person as in your network. I mean, I sort of I'm in that stage right now where I'm I value networking a lot, and trust me, this is the time for you to actually start building those networks. So wherever you meet now, you don't know what tomorrow will tell. So we feel that actually could be a means of you creating a very solid network for yourself as well. And then yeah, providing network what's it called, feedback, and celebrating your little wins together, like our contextual learning session already taught us, right? Celebrating your wins together and doing all of that. Can you click again, Jay? There's still another point I would like to talk about. So we also have this very little guide that prepared, right? So before you pick someone, I'll take you back to a reference that class that I just took recently again, that was talking about relaunching. The second part of it was how you choose a co-founder. I'm bringing that into this because you don't know what tomorrow also tells, and if you're picking a partner now, either one person or multiple persons, right? You want to make sure that things that are actually aligning in this context, okay? You want to be sure that your interest and that person's interest sort of align, right? And when I say interest, it doesn't necessarily have to be, oh, are you a Christian? Are you a Muslim? If that is what works for you, good and fine. But what we are thinking in this case is probably like you going through the same journey, data engineering, cloud engineering. If that doesn't apply to you, if you're able to, oh, I don't mind the person from cloud and I'm in data, all I just need is someone that would just, keep me in check. If that's what works for you as well, that is fine. But the context here is interest. Make sure your interest is aligned, right? Make sure you have your expectations well communicated, right? And also make sure you understand what this person's motivation, right? You don't want to be with someone that will be dragging you back, basically. And that's not to say that you should be dragging someone else back as well. You want to be sure that the person has the same motivation as you. Like you're reaching out to the person and the person is saying, I maybe there's an assignment supposed to be submitted me like tomorrow, and you're the kind of person that wants to probably get it done maybe by latest this afternoon, so you can probably do some other review before submission. And the person is, I don't know, not feeling you, or maybe not coming through with the support you think you need at the time. Want to be sure that the person is also motivated, basically. And another thing is we realize that we have people across multiple countries in the world that we're operating under different time zones. So you want to be sure that the time zone of your partner is accurate, or at least close to yours, or at least you can deal with it. Okay, you don't want it to be too far apart. Check for someone that you can, just talk to anytime you reach out. It doesn't take like hours, maybe because the person was sleeping or doing some other things at the time. You want to be sure about that as well. Communication channel. We strongly advise that you don't take your communication out of Slack. Okay, for now. So you're able to manage all things in one place. So you don't miss while communicating on that channel. There's like other information that is probably going on, and you're probably missing it. Okay. So you want to make sure that you keep your communication and all the conversations in Slack, okay? If at any point you think maybe after the entire program and you want to still keep contact with that person on the personal level, we're not against that, and that is left to your own idea. You feel that's the best thing to do, then that's fine, okay? The next thing is, yeah, we just give like a sample of how you can get this person. Maybe you've seen the person's kind of questions the person actually asks while in sessions like this, or maybe the way the person communicates on the channel. So you feel like, oh, I would like to, and that's to say that you as a person might have like tons of requests, and you also want to do some sort of validation with the people you are getting. Take me back to the Omobolanle session again about how you're being asked out, and you have to, do the sorting, do the pluses and minus, and see what adds up, what doesn't add up before you do the. But when you finally made the decision to go with the person, then you want to. This is like a sort of conversation starter actually, even before you get to that point. Oh, hi, I'm this, I'm that. Then you can use a sample like this or something that looks like it. Something that's not too complex. It doesn't have to be too detailed. You don't want to bore your first arrival. You don't want to be zoned already, okay? So just something that's very, very light. Introduce yourself and then get the conversation started, okay? So this is a very, like I said again, this is a very brief one that we just want to use to introduce you guys to. As you can see, the first part of this presentation actually it's going to be a baseline for another conversation we're going to be having like very soon. We're going to like take you guys through the platform we're going to be using to actually do the learning, and there'll be questions around that. The LMS are going to be using to consume all the content and all of that. So be very sure you understand this session very well, because when we get to that part, we're going to be taking from the information that I've already shared in this session. So that's all I'm going to talk about. So let your questions start coming in. So yeah, that's all. Thank you guys. So Bolanle, could you please be listing all the questions, please? Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so I would be, reading the questions. We already have some here already. So Bernard is asking, how many modules are in this cohort?
Okay, that's a good one. That's very spot on. We have about 8 of them, right, at the moment, and yeah, that's what we're looking at. We're looking at 8 modules for you guys. We've kind of bundled all the courses into 8 modules, right? So is that all the question the person wants to ask about the modules? Just number of modules?
Yes, just the number of modules from Bernard. Okay. All right, Emmanuel is asking, sequel to the quiz, what if someone tries solving them but could not amicably meet its expectation within the shortest possible time? What happens then? Does it iterate?
Okay, so here is what I would say to that. Because the program itself is time boxed, you have a lot of time to actually attend to each course. To each module, and definitely each course. How you divide it is left to you, right? But then you have to make sure you don't overshoot your time. And when you get to the point when people are already doing like the 3rd module, you are still on the 1st or 2nd module. That one is left to you. It's solely controlled by your discretion. If you feel like you want to use like too much long time to solve a question, when you could just reach out to maybe someone that could help you. I'm not saying you shouldn't try it by yourself. I'm saying that when you start saying that it's giving you like a lot of tough time and you're not making any progress, the best thing is to try to escalate to other people or reach out to the facilitators if there's an issue with the question or you just don't get it, basically. Okay, and probably we'll see what we can do with you. Probably recommend some other things that you can learn with and all of that. That would be my response to that, Bolanle.
Someone said, are we going to get certificates at the end? If yes, is the certificate free?
Okay, so because there might be some other questions, we answered this yesterday like multiple times. Okay, so we're going to keep on saying it, but at least maybe we'll just do well to just drop like an information about this on the Slack channel. So yeah, the certification there's going to be a certificate presented to everybody that participates in this cohort. And yes, it's free. The program is free itself, and the certificate is free itself. What we're just saying is that this is a proof that you've gone through this intensive program, but that is quite different from the CSP certificate. And by CSP, I mean the cloud service providers, the AWS certifications that we're going to give you some very sweet vouchers to take, and some other cloud providers. That is quite different from their own, right? But our own is just to present to you after you must have completed the program. It's not before. It's after we should be sure that okay, you went through the entire program, you do all the due diligence. Because what we're trying to build you guys to be is from zero to Techie. You're not going to be half baked and we give you the certificate like that. Okay, you have to be fully baked. You have to go through the entire program. So yeah, that's that on that, Bola. Next one.
Okay, so Oluwamuyiwa says, what's the duration of this cohort program?
Okay, so I see we keep going back on that particular question. It was said yesterday as well, but it's 24 weeks. Okay, that's about like 6 months or thereabouts. So yeah, that's that on that. 24 weeks.
Okay, it says how many courses per module and how many weeks per module? Okay, so that's
Okay, so the number of courses on the module is not what you should worry about. The reason I would say that is it's possible that when you get into a particular module, you're seeing 2 courses, and that 2 courses we might put like 4 hours or 5 or whatever amount of time we're looking at, right? But when you get into another one, you're seeing like 5, 6, 7 different courses. Okay, that's not to say that this one will take you shorter, this one will take you longer time. We've we've already time boxed each of them to be enough for the number of courses that are in there, right? But the number of courses vary across modules. Okay.
okay. Another one is saying, are the modules the same for both tracks? That's for cloud and data engineering.
Not exactly. I think Blessing spoke about this yesterday. Uh, did and if possible, Jay, if you could please maybe open Blessing or OJ's mic here, because I needed someone to speak about this. The courses are different in some places and they're very the same in some places. So I mean, you cannot be a cloud engineer, you cannot be a data engineer without understanding some things around database, right? Or having a very clear understanding of certain things around the cloud or maybe cloud service providers, right? And same thing actually applies to cloud as well. So there's some basic courses that are going to be the same across the 2 path, then the 2 experience basically, right? But there are some that are very, very specific, either to data or to cloud. Okay. So that's the way it is for that. So if I don't know if we have OJ or Blessing to speak to that as well. But if you don't, but please continue to the next one.
Okay. Is the program beginner friendly?
Omobolanle, I think you can just take that. Yeah, it's very, very much beginner friendly, definitely. It's 0 to Techie. Okay. We're saying that just have the interest, have the zeal, have the fire in you, wanting to actually learn this, right? You are able to go through. But that is not to say that we are going to, tell you that when you see cloud, it's spelled as CLOUD, or when you see this, it's we will do some things that are quite basic, right? But you would also have to put in the work, okay? We expect you to learn something. When we tell you, okay, when we underline something and we hyperlink it to a resource, right? Out there, maybe like a material out there, or maybe like a YouTube video out there. We expect you to go through that and not, just to understand what that thing might be, okay? And then you come back to either continue your course or however it may be, okay? But yeah, it's very beginner friendly.
All right. Another person says, if you're unable to pass the quiz at the first time, can you retake the quiz?
Yeah, you can take the quiz as part of the quiz, yeah, for sure. You can do that.
Okay. All right. There's some questions that I'm trying to skip because we've answered them severally. Someone says, would there be correction for assignments given?
Will there be corrections for assignments given? Oh, if that person means it's gonna be like a scoring or sharing your results to you after you've done an assessment. Yes, that will happen. Of course, we're going to check through the assessments. We're going to give you all of that feedback and all of that. But is it going to be immediately? No, you'll be expected to submit them. On the portal will allow you to submit that. The learning management system portal will allow you to drop your assignment. So we'll ask you, I will give you the appropriate timeline for the project or for the assignments, and you're expected to submit it back. So you might want to do or not to go beyond the time given to you, and make sure you just submit within the time. But yeah, they'll be assessed and they'll also be shared back to you guys. So yeah.
Okay. Another question: will there be a capstone project after all modules have been completed?
That is a very good one. So right now, all the assignments and the project that are given per module, right? But I think what will happen after you've completed all the other modules and other things will probably be a possible interview, right? which is sort of like already going beyond the scope of this program, right? So interview might probably be because we feel like, okay, you've done well and you probably worth giving a shot in some, or maybe a possible employment with a partner or with us, but that is already getting beyond the scope of the internship program. So what you should focus on is completing each of the modules assessment first. Okay.
This is a suggestion, not more of a question. I think it says, can the team do a FAQ, because we have a lot of repeated questions. That's from Joshua. Yes, we will do like an FAQ on your on the Slack channel. Okay, so if you're not on the Slack channel, it's best you join. So most of the questions that were asked over and over again will be answered again on the Slack channel. You do not have to raise your hands. Please just put your question in the comment section, and questions that were not answered will definitely be answered on the Slack channel. Just wanted to quickly put that there. People are asking the same questions again. Okay. Another person says the code was shown yesterday, but there was no link sent for one to mark attendance, or did I miss something? You did not miss anything. Just keep the code. When it's time to use it, you will definitely be told. Just keep the code. Keep the code with you, and then when it's time, you'll be told on what to do with that. I guess I've answered this. Another person says, I'm from Kenya. I'm hoping this is okay. Yes, it is very okay. Okay, it is very okay. Whatever part of the walls that you're coming from, this is very okay. It's applicable to everyone. So please welcome. It's good to have you here. Okay. For those that did not see the code yesterday, another code will be displayed today after the session. So just stay alert and you will get the code. If you do not see it on your screen, you will see it in the Q&A column. Everyone is going to get to see it before the end of the session. Just stay ready for it. I think those are a lot of code questions here. Another one for you, Jumo. Can we combine voucher provided by CIL with another voucher, e.g. AWS?
Okay. Am I still audible?
Very audible.
Okay. To whoever asked that question, with the voucher we're giving you, don't mix it up. It's not still just went to one place to create the vouchers and give it to you. No, there are vouchers that, being an AWS partner ourselves, we have access to these things, and then we feel like we're able to offer that.
Joel, can you put off your... Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, the next
So yeah, we're
one.
able to offer. I think that's OJ's mic or thereabouts. So yeah, we're able to offer
Okay.
you vouchers. Exam vouchers basically, and that is from AWS themselves. Okay, so.
Okay. One final question says, I already have the AWS practitioner certification. What other certification is expected?
Okay, so let's give this to the subject matter experts. OJ, Blessing, could you please help with this? So the person has taken the CCP, I think. So what will be the next
All
one?
right. So can you guys hear me? John, am I audible?
Yeah, audible.
You're audible, OJ.
All right. So the question around the exam voucher. So if you already have the AWS Cloud Practitioner as an example, that's a good thing, right? So you won't need any support with getting that voucher. You might get the benefits of the, for example, the Solution Architect voucher as the next step. So that you might get that as a discounted voucher. The idea here is you don't have to get these vouchers from CIL and AWS coming through for you. You can buy these vouchers. They're available on the market, right? You can buy your vouchers. What we are doing is trying to find a way to support you guys by getting discounted vouchers, making discounted vouchers available to you, right? So that it can fast track your development. It's not like you guys have not, I want nobody has paid any registration fees or admission fee. This program is totally free for you guys. So anything you want additionally, we're just trying to source that and make that available to you guys. So having a practitioner is a very good thing. You've got your one step in. Any other thing you can benefit from after that?
All right, thank you very much, OJ. Okay, a lot of code. I've not been added to the Slack channel. Okay, I'll say this again for those that have not been added. Send an email to academy@secureintel.com. Okay, it's very important. Send the email. That is for those that have not been added. If you've been added, you don't need to send an email, please. Just look for James on Slack. Okay, thank you. If you have any issues with Slack whatsoever, you're trying to sign in, you've not gotten the invitation, send an email to academy@secureintel.com. Okay. All right, Juwon, this question is for you. Juwon, can you still hear me?
Yeah, very well, Bolanle.
All right, so someone is saying that do we choose our groups, or will we be assigned to the groups?
Okay. So that person, to make me answer another question that just came up in my head in case people ask. You can choose whoever you want to partner with, and the number is also left to you. But of course, that's to be. We actually strongly advise like it's just one person that you just be an accountability body of some sort, right? But when this is done, there will come a time we'll check back with you, and because we'll ask you, okay, have you done this? And then there a link probably provided where you guys can, impute the names of yourself and your body, whatever it is, we can maybe refer you to, and all of that necessary things basically. But yeah, we'll check back with you on that. But you're expected to just choose one person to work with. Okay.
Okay, this is another question from John Oluwafemi. It says, can I post that I currently intern at CIL on my social network? I think I can answer this. You do not intern at CIL. You're just part of the internship program at CIL Academy. Okay, so yeah, I mean, CIL Academy. Yes, you can put CIL Academy, not CIL. Okay, the academy is a part of the entire body, and it's not the internship at CIL itself, but at CIL Academy. You can put that on your social media network, going through the CIL Academy internship. It's fine. Okay.
Yeah, so about that, I also think there's a structure, like how you can go about it. I think there's like a sample of the kind of posts you can post and how you can actually reference what you're currently doing. Like Bolanle already says, an internship program training, basically. It's not a job, right? I mean, like you're being paid. We're just giving you this for free, and it's a lot. And if you want to reference that, and I mean, there's been situations like that, maybe because we feel like, oh, I'm just starting. I want every what's the word for it? You want to show that at least you're doing something, maybe for potential employers to see that, okay, this person has worked with this company. Oh, this company actually an AWS partner. Oh, that could be something. This is still an academy you're going through, right? When that happens, you will have all the access. But you can drop this how maybe like a question of how what is acceptable, or can maybe a structure of the message, and you can post on your social media channels and the CIL Academy handle as well. You can tag them. So that will be the end for this session. Every other question should be posted on Slack channel. Bolanle, over to you.
Thank you very much, Joel. Like I said, welcome to any question that you want to ask, please put it on the Slack channel and we'll definitely answer. We're going to the next session now very quickly. Yesterday we did mention that you would have an opportunity to ask your more AWS questions, and the opportunity is here. We have a guest speaker from AWS, the community manager for Africa for AWS, Tembil Ndlovu, pardon me. She's an experienced professional with a background in community management, change management, and partner development. She currently serves as a community manager for Africa at AWS and is responsible for promoting the growth and engagement of the AWS community in the region. She holds a certification in change management and brings a strategic and methodological approach to driving positive change. In her previous role as a partner development manager, she honed her skills in building and strengthening relationships with key partners, and she's continuously involved in business activities related to community building. Please welcome with me this morning for a beautiful session, Tembil Nlovo. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. Thank you for the lovely introduction. I am just trying to share my screen. So if we can start there, and then you can give me an indication of whether you can see or not, so that I can do that for us today. Are we winning? Can you see?
Yeah, I think it's coming up already.
Okay. Is it coming up?
It's not up yet.
Let's see what happens. Otherwise, I will proceed in the interest of time, because I do not want to waste our time. Okay, so it seems like I'm having challenges with sharing my screen. So I will proceed. And what I'll do is I'll share the presentation with the team so that you can at least have a view of it after the session, if that is okay.
Your screen is up, Sembil. Your screen is up. No.
It is up. I'm not sure if you're seeing the right screen though.
Yeah, it's showing her allow webinar security will come to see your screen. It's asking for permission, I think.
Okay, I'm not getting that on my side. I've given all permissions. The webinar has permissions to see my screen.
You can proceed.
I think I will
coming up.
proceed. Yes, so is it coming up or not?
It's not up yet.
Okay,
So
no
just
problem. As I mentioned, I will share it with you so that you can share it with the delegates today. There are important links that I wanted to share with them so that they can have visibility of them as well. So I'll share those with you so that you can extend them to everyone. With that, I will start. Thank you so much for the invitation to the session today. I'm really excited to be able to come and share with you the work that we do within the developer relations team. As introduced, my name is Thembile Ndlovu. I am the AWS Community Manager for Africa within Developer Relations. And I have the privilege to work with developers across Africa who are part of our AWS programs. This includes our AWS Heroes program, our AWS Community Builders, our AWS User Groups, as well as our AWS Cloud Clubs. All right. And within our AWS Heroes program, I really want to just take us through what each of those programs are so that you can have understanding of them. Our AWS Heroes program. This is a program. This is a program that recognizes a vibrant worldwide group of AWS experts. Those are individuals that are enthusiastic about sharing knowledge. These are individuals that have a real impact within their community. Our heroes go above and beyond to share knowledge in a variety of ways, including on social media, via social blog posts, online projects, videos, forums, as well as in person through conferences, workshops, and user group events. The purpose of the AWS Heroes program is to recognize and honor the most engaged and influential developers that have a significant impact within their community. The community provides our 100+ heroes a place to tell their story and connect with like-minded developers. We then have our AWS Community Builders. This program offers technical resources, education, and networking opportunities to AWS technical enthusiasts and emerging thought leaders that are passionate about sharing knowledge, technical knowledge, as well as connecting with the technical community. We have thousands of community builders globally, and many are applying yearly and renewing their community builder status annually. Then we have our AWS user program. This is a peer-to-peer community where these networks and groups meet on a regular basis to share ideas, they answer questions, and they learn about new services and best practices that we have within AWS. We have over 400 user groups globally in multiple countries and cities. And then lastly, we have our cloud clubs. These are peer-to-peer user groups that are specific for students. These are students that are affiliated with an academic institution. These are cloud clubs allow for individuals to be able to network and attend career building events and host hackathons beyond skills development. Now, you may be asking yourself, what are the benefits for me as an individual to join one or more or any of these communities that I've just mentioned? One is an opportunity to connect with individuals even outside of your country, of your city, of the continent, being able to connect with people globally that are in the same area of what you're doing. It's also an opportunity to network with like-minded individuals. So if you're interested in a specific tech solution, you can network with someone that also shares the same interests that you have. It is also an opportunity to be able to collaborate with individuals on a project, collaborate with individuals on a specific idea that you might have, which leads me to the next point, which is an opportunity for you to innovate and create new ideas, bring new ideas to the table. And lastly, to also develop your skills. Also grow your certification. So if you are trying to learn something from a tech perspective, there's an exam that you want to go write. It will help you to be in an environment where you can learn with other individuals, but also prepare to write collectively as well. So as I mentioned, there is an opportunity for you to meet, engage in your city with individuals that are part of this community. And if one doesn't exist, there's an opportunity for you to also create a community in your city or in your country. With that said, how can you get connected? I will share the link on how you can meet our AWS heroes. As I mentioned, there's hundreds of them with around the globe, but also within your city. You can find an AWS user group near you. If there isn't one in your city, there's an opportunity where you can also create an AWS user group. The AWS Community Builders Program. You can add your name to the waiting list. The current intake for this has closed, but there is one that's opening in July this year. So you can read up about the Community Builders Program. And if you're interested and you meet the criteria, you can then add your name to the wait list so that you can join in the next intake in July. And then lastly, you have an opportunity to apply to lead an AWS Cloud Club in your region. We have applications that are currently open as I speak, and they will be closing on the 19th of February. So if you want to start and be a captain of a cloud club, which is a peer-to-peer user group for students, that is also an opportunity for you to participate. I'm going to pause there and allow for any questions around the AWS community, the community programs, and any of what has been discussed this morning.
Thank you very much. We'll be taking the questions now. I'll be reading some of the questions to you from the Q&A section. Okay. Someone asks, Uche asks, how do we join the community?
All right. So as I mentioned, Uche, there are various different programs that are part of the community. Some of them, for example, the Community Builder program, you would then apply to that. So if you wanted to apply and be a community builder, go through the link that I'm just sharing now, read through what is shared around the Community Builder program. And then if you fit that criteria, then you would be able to apply to the program. So I'm just putting the link there for the Community Builders program. As I mentioned, that it is currently closed, so you can join the waiting list, but then you could already get an insight about what is required for the application in July. I'm also going to put in the chat box and the link to the user group program, because here you can already network with individuals that are in your city. If there's a user group, you can be able to connect with them. I know that in Nigeria and Lagos specifically, we have 2 user groups that one can participate in. So have a read at those. I've also put in the link to the cloud clubs, our student hub, so that you can also be able to add to apply to the application that is open and closes on the 19th of February, as mentioned. So there are 4 programs, and all of them have an opportunity for you to participate and engage. Then the Heroes program is one that you don't apply to, but rather you do the work and then you get honored and recommended to then nominated to participate in. So I've posted that link last. But I do encourage you to go on the links, find the community members that currently are on these programs, read their bios, connect with them so that you can hear how did they get to where they are today. As I said, communities are all about networking. They're all about learning from each other's expertise. They're all about growing together. So these will give you an opportunity to really be able to grow with like-minded individuals. Is there another question?
There is. Thank you for that. Demi Sola is asking, how long does it take to get feedback for applying to AWS Community Builder?
So they are different because the intakes are different. So when you see the application window, you'll also be given visibility of it closes now and you can expect feedback by the next month or by the next week. So when you're applying for the specific program, you should also note that specific date on when you would expect feedback. It does vary because the applications open at different times and therefore close at different times as well.
Right. Thank you. Another question. If you're a recent graduate, can you apply for the Cloud Club?
So with the Cloud Club, you would need to be within the institution, so be a student. So maybe the Cloud Club wouldn't be the right program if you're no longer a student, but the user group program would be. The user group program audience is quite diverse. So there are students that are within the user groups, there are graduates, there are employees that have started freshly with their careers, but they're also individuals that are experts and have been in these specific industries for a while. So maybe if you have already graduated, I'd recommend you look at a user group program versus a Cloud Club program.
Right, thank you for that. Another question is the student community program physical?
They vary, and each user group program looks at who their audience is. So they feed off their audience. So they will have a combination of events, hybrid, virtual, in person. It really depends by the event that they're hosting and who the leaders of the user group is. In fact, you could already, as I shared on the find a user group, if you find a user group, you can follow their meetup page and you can already start attending some of the events. There's quite a lot of activity happening between this January and March period. So February, we're still right in the middle. That's around our reInvent recaps. So pick one that's virtual if there isn't one near you. If there is one near you, go attend physically and really learn about what are some of the highlights from AWS that were announced at the recent reInvent.
Right. Another question from Collins. Do you have to be a pro in AWS before you join the group?
No, no, no. So Collins, as I mentioned, that the user group programs has a diverse group of individuals. They are individuals that are just interested and curious, enthusiastic about AWS. They haven't even had one exam yet. They want to try and learn before they go write an exam. This is a space where you can come and learn. This is a space where you can grow in terms of your skills and your certification. So as long as you have an interest, you have a desire to grow your AWS tech knowledge, the user groups are a space and a safe space for you to connect.
Thank you very much. We have a question from Godwin. Is the student community group open to master students?
Yes, as long as you're a student within a university or a college or any academic institution.
All right, thank you. Bimsola has a follow-up question. Says, I applied for AWS community builder last month, but I'm yet to get feedback. That's why I asked on how long it takes.
Okay, that's perfect. So you applied within the January intake. I will let you know that we are currently doing the reviews. You would have seen that when you did your application, it said that you will get feedback by March. So by March, you should know your status on the Community Builder program. As I mentioned, there are thousands of community builders, and we got double those amounts in terms of the application. So those reviews are happening, and you will have feedback by March.
Right. There's been a lot of questions on the link. Not to worry. Some people say they cannot click the link. It will be shared on the Slack channel. So not to worry, we'll get all the links shared on the Slack channel alongside with the slides for you to have access to. Another question, I think this has been answered. Can someone who doesn't have a knowledge of AWS join the group? Yes, yes, you can. That question has been answered. Okay, I think that's all we have. Do we have any other question? Or if the question has not been answered, please point me to that question so we could get the question answered before we run out of time.
That is perfect. What I'll also do is I will share my LinkedIn and email address if there are any other queries from a community perspective on how one can join that are beyond the links that will be shared.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. Okay, so if you have any further questions, you would be able to ask directly. I guess that's most of the question that we have. So we have one question quickly from Bernard. How much knowledge and skills do you need to lead a student community?
The student community. So is this for the cloud clubs? For the cloud clubs, you need to be a student. You need to be within 18 and 28. You need to be enthusiastic about technology. And you need to obviously be able to commit from a time perspective. In terms of knowledge, they will support with the coordinating of the club. In terms of the administration and the leadership, those will be supported. And in terms of the tech knowledge, that will also be supported, and that comes with the group. So most importantly, it's not about the skills, but it's the competency in terms, do you have the enthusiasm? Do you want to bring together a network of individuals within your institution? And are you willing to put in the time for it?
Thank you very much. I think that's most of our questions this morning. No other question has dropped. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for sharing with us this morning. I don't know if you have any last words, any for the
No,
interns.
thank you for having me. It was a pleasure being here this morning, and all the best for the rest of the week.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining. All right, thank you very much. Thank you all for joining the morning session. If you have any questions that were not answered, please, it will definitely be answered in the afternoon. As we have said over and over again, these sessions are compulsory. For those who missed this morning session, you can see how much you have missed. Okay, the sessions are not repeated, so it's very important that you attend. The commitments, the schedule is just strictly for the induction period. Throughout the rest of the internship, it's self-paced. Okay, you can learn it at your own pace. But the induction period, where you have to see some of our faces, we come to share a lot of things with you to help you start and commence this process. Okay, it's just for the rest of the week. So please do everything you can to attend. Use positive and negative reinforcement. Reward yourself. Take away every form of distraction. Thank you all for joining this session this morning. Please ensure you take the polls on your way out. There's a poll already there, so ensure that you take the poll. You see the poll icon, take the poll so that we can get your opinion. For those of us asking on which of the Slack channels it will be shared, it will be shared on the Cohort 5 Slack channel. Okay, if you have not joined the Slack channel yet, send an email to academy@secureintel.com. academy@secureintel.com. Like Jumo rightly mentioned, it's important that you get a body this period. Okay, when you get your body, you'll be able to communicate, share ideas, share information, join the communities, join the Slack channels, work with people. This is another way to reinforce yourself. Accountability partners, people that allow you that support you through your journey. It's not easy doing this alone. Okay, when you hear of other people's struggles, you support each other in your processes. Together we make the work better. Thank you very much. The code will be shared shortly. Okay, all right. Jay, do we have the code now? You put on the screen. Right, Jay, can you share the code now? Shared shortly. Is the code for attendance. It is very important and will be used in the course of the internship. This shows that you are part of the induction program. So please take the code. The code is now being shared. Okay, your screen, it is being shared. I'm going to drop it also in the chat box so that you can get it. And please, someone shared the code yesterday after I was shared on the Slack channel. We would advise you not to do that if you do not want to get kicked off the program. Do your best. We would advise you not to do that. Please do not. Just keep the code for yourself. Okay, keep the code. Just keep the code. Once it's time to use the code, you will be told. Okay, it will be communicated to you. Keep the code. Believe me, these codes are very important. So just keep the codes. It's being shown. The code. All right. Thank you very much for this session. Do have a good afternoon, good morning. Enjoy the rest of your morning. See you in the afternoon. Happy Valentine's Day once again. Do not forget to show love to someone. Bye.